Well, hello, and welcome back to another podcast episode with Brittany Bundles. You are listening to the Brittany Bundles podcast, where we empower people through entrepreneurship. And hi, everyone, I'm your host, Brittany. I am so excited to be doing another episode today. Today, I just want to talk about how to promote your sales, some ways that you can do that more effectively, okay, and some strategies that have really helped me gain more sales and also grow more relationships. Not all of the relationships have turned into sales just yet. Some of them are in my pipeline, and some of them are just great references and more add-ons to my entrepreneurial community. We're going to be talking about that too in some later podcast episodes, just how you can build your entrepreneurial community, your resources, and also how you can build your pipeline for sales to come. So before we get started, I'm going to ask that you share the podcast with a family member or a friend. Sharing the podcast helps us to get the word out. It helps us to spread the word about not only entrepreneurial strategies, but also it helps to bring exposure to entrepreneurs that have been featured on this platform. So be sure to go ahead and share it. I'm going to give you a moment to think about how you're going to share the podcast and go ahead and do it. You can share it via a social media link. You can share it via text message. You can share by just spreading the word, turning on the podcast while you're in the car with someone. So be sure to go ahead and share. We really appreciate it, and I'll be back in just a moment. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. And today, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about some different strategies in regard to promoting our sales. Now, the first point that I want to go over is newsletters and follow-up attempts. So one way that I am ensuring to promote my sales and also to get more sales, okay, is to make sure that I'm actively sending newsletters. Now, when I say actively sending newsletters, I don't mean sending a newsletter every day. I don't mean sending a newsletter every single week, but I do mean finding a good strategy that's going to work best for your audience, okay? And you have to try a couple different time slots to see what works best. And what I mean by time slots is that you'll notice that some of your audience is going to open emails more toward the morning. Some are going to open more during the week. Some are going to open more on the weekend. So what I have found that helps me is I typically send my newsletters out on Sunday or Monday. Okay. And then I also schedule for anyone that didn't open my newsletters to get another email so that they can be reminded, like a little push to open that email. Now, you want to be strategic when you're doing this because you don't want to send so many emails that people unsubscribe. And you don't want to send so many salesy emails where people are like, okay, I'm not even going to open because every time I get an email from this company or this person, they're always trying to sell me something. So we want to make sure that we're also including value. Value is not just discounts. Value can be providing information about a product that you offer without trying to sell. Okay, that may be your goal, but we also want to make sure that we're giving back. We're providing information. We're showing insights of what we're doing. We're providing more education around a certain service that we're offering. We're providing different testimonials, but we're giving back more than just, hey, you can buy this. So that's something that I have been working on, just trying to figure out ways to curate my emails in a way that it's not so salesy. Typically, I still include some links. That's just how my email is formatted with different popular products and services. But I also want my emails to not only be about selling something. So that is one way that you can promote your actual sales. If you're offering like a Mother's Day sale, a back to school sale, make sure that you're using your email mailing list because that makes it a little bit more personal. You actually get inside of people's emails, which, it's kind of like a sacred place because a lot of times the emails pop up on your phone or they pop up on your tablet. So we want to make sure that we're there, okay? Not just them scrolling, but we want to make sure that we're actually inside of their personal, email, that we're on their phone when they open their emails. And then also different follow-up attempts. So like I mentioned, I have a system set up with the email platform that I'm using, which is Cigano Marketing, that if someone doesn't open my email the first time around, they're going to be notified. They're going to get like another email to push them to open it, to urge them to do that, right? But Also, you can follow up with people that you have built connections with, people that you have rapport with, and just reaching out and asking, hey, did you get the email I sent yesterday regarding discounts? I know you reached out a few months ago talking about your interest in this product, and I want to make sure that you get the best rate. Or, hey, I know that you reached out last year and you were interested in this service, and I wanted to share some information about how this service works. Did you get the email that I sent out 2 days ago? So just following up and asking questions can also help get the word out about your sales, and also in return help boost sales for you as well. Now, another way that you can promote your sales and also drive more sales for your business is by including your sales link or information about your sales in your email signature. Now, this can't be too long, but a quick quote that correlates with the sale that you're offering, or a discount code that correlates with the discount that you're offering for a particular sale, or quick information about an event that you're hosting next week that you want people to attend. Include that link, make it a link, and put it inside of your signature. That way, when people are getting emails from you, they're able to click and see what you're working on, see what you're doing. And you'd be surprised how many times people have actually emailed me back because of something that I had in my signature line that I forgot was even there. I had my Shopify promotion for Shopify POS for people that were looking for a system to put in their brick and mortar location. And I used to forget that I had that in my signature, and people would reply back, hey, I'm interested in Shopify POS that you had in your email. And I'm thinking, like, I didn't send this person an email about Shopify POS. And it took me some time to realize, like, oh, okay, Brittany, you do have that information in the bottom of your signature. Okay, so, and it really helped. It was generating traffic. So be sure to use your signatures in your emails strategically, because you're sending emails probably a lot, right? Like we send emails pretty much frequently all day if you're a business owner, and sometimes even text messages. So you can even have a text message signature where you're including those same links in your text message signature. So that's another way to promote your sales and to get more sales too. Now, another way to do this is under comments on your post. So if you get posts or comments under your post, instead of saying, hey, I'm going to DM you the information, a good practice is replying back under the comments and including links that can help solve that inquiry, okay? Now, if it's something that's really personal or something that's going to be a little bit of a longer winded conversation, then yeah, they may want to go to the DM. You may actually want to send an email. You want to maybe hop on a call. But if it's something where someone is saying, hey, do you still offer this product? And you can, let them know, yes, I'm actually offering a discount on this product. Or yes, I'm actually going to offer a discount next week. Here's the link to my email newsletter. That way, when the sale goes active, you'll be notified. Anyone else in the comments that are interested in this product, please don't hesitate to click the same link. I would love us all to join. I would love us all to be a part of this entrepreneurial community, and feel free to ask any questions if any come about. And so you're including those links so that when people go back and read the comments, which a lot of people do when they're watching videos on YouTube, listening to podcasts, when they're scrolling on social media, a lot of people are reading the comments. So make sure that you're leaving important links or information about what you're offering in that comment section. Another way that you can promote your sales and also generate more sales is by including the sale information in your orders. So by including a thank you note with different sales that you're going to be offering, or a current sale that you are offering, or information about a certain product or service, it's going to be beneficial because it not only tells people what you're offering, but it does so when a lot of times they're in a good mood. They're getting their package. They're like, yes, finally got my stuff in the mail. And then they read, your card. So I think it's a good touch to have. Again, you want to make sure you're not being too salesy, but that is a strategy that could definitely work. It could provide that enlightenment about what you're offering. Plus, it may make someone interested to go back, especially if they're satisfied with the order they received. It may spark interest to want to go back to your website and buy more. Now, the last tip, strategy that I'm going to mention in this podcast is post your sales at your local beauty supply store. Now, you do want to get permission before you do this. You don't want to just go into your local beauty supply and leave a stack of flyers on their counter and walk out. But building relationships, like I've been mentioning in a lot of my videos, really goes a long way. So build relationships with your community, with people that are running salons. If you sell hair, that's a great relationship to build, because you may want to do some kind of incentive program where you can refer people to their salon and they can refer people to your business. Same kind of idea with beauty supply stores, not saying that you want to do anything that's going to feel like you're competing with them. But let's say you're offering a service that the beauty supply store does not offer, and it can benefit you and them for having more people come and more people engage in what you're offering, and also position the beauty supply store to seem like a resource for different services that can assist them with a product that they may be interested in. You do have to become creative and kind of figure out how this is going to work so that it's a win-win on every side. And then you also want to be strategic in how you're going up to talk about what your idea is and asking if you can promote inside of their store. However, once you build that relationship, it's going to be a lot easier to have these kind of conversations, and also easier for you actually to get your promotions inside of beauty supply stores. So those are some strategies that I've used. Those are some strategies that I recommend you using to spread the word about different sales or new products or services that you're offering, and also boost more sales for your business. I really hope that this podcast helped. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to be a guest on the Brittany Bundles podcast, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach me via email, which is the letter B as in Brittany, talks, TALKS @yahoo.com. I am also on Instagram at Brittany_bundles. And you can also follow the podcast Instagram at BrittanyBundles_podcast. I'm also on YouTube at Brittany Bundles, and I have a separate section just for the podcast episodes. And be sure to like this episode if you're listening on Spotify. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I will talk to you all in the next podcast episode. Bye.